So today I'm going to be doing another kind of one of my like dollar dupes video. It's kind of like the name I've come up with for the moment. And then basically that is where I take an existing palette and I try to closely dupe it with some of my Coastal Scents Hot Pot collection. I have so many of those. I think they're really good eyeshadows for the price, and a lot of times you can get them on sale for only 99 cents. I've already done one palette dupe video and I did that on the Lime Crime Venus 3 palette. So if you want to see that, I'll have it linked below. And today I wanted to do the Norvina palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. That's a new palette that's going to be coming out soon. I do not own the palette and I don't have swatches to it. So basically all of these like dupes that I am coming up with are just the closest eyeshadows I have in my collection. They may not be 100% dupes, but the overall idea of this video is to give you a list of shadows that you could use to create an overall similar looking palette. I'll also show you how I did this eyeshadow look. It did kind of end up turning out very similar to the one I did for my Venus 3 palette, so my apologies, but I will try to use this a few more times and insert some clips or pictures of different looks that I created with this type of color story. So if you're not familiar what the Norvina palette looks like, this is what it looks like. I think it's a really beautiful palette. It was another one of those palettes that just in the recent kind of launches of a lot of eyeshadow palettes, it just kind of stood out to me. It definitely does have a little bit of similar vibes to the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk, I think that's what it's called. It kind of has some similar kind of colors to that. But overall, I really love the color story of this one. I think it's really pretty, and even though it's not like a super incredibly unique palette, it was just one of those palettes that really kind of like jumped out at me and I was like, ooh, do I need to buy that? So hopefully I don't break down and buy it, but it is a beautiful palette. So starting off, this is the kind of overall color palette I came up with. Again, these are not 100% dupes at all. These are just based on from me watching videos, looking at the actual product pictures and different swatches on different skin tones. So with all of those put together, you know, colors can look a little bit different in different lighting, different camera settings, just so many different factors that go into it that can, you know, overall change the look of a product. So this is the best I was able to come up with all of the eyeshadows in my collection. So really quickly, I will go through all of these Coastal Scent shadows as well as the ABH counterparts that they're kind of corresponding to. So this one is called Peach Fuzz. This corresponds to the color Dreamer. This next one is the color Caramelized. This one is supposed to be Summer. This one is called Lovelight, and that one corresponds to Wild Child. Next is Sun Dried. This one corresponds to the color Rose Gold. Next is the color Silver Lilac. This one corresponds to the color Celestial. Next is called Burnished Wine, and that one corresponds to the color Dazzling. Then the final one on this row is the color Chocolate Berry, and that one corresponds to the color Dream. Moving on to the bottom row, this one is the color Victorian Pear, and that one corresponds to the color Base. This one actually should be a matte shadow. This one has a slight kind of satin finish to it, but I didn't have one that was the right color and the right finish. So this one is a shimmery, satiny one, but it should be a matte one. This one is called Violetteville, and that one corresponds to the color Soul. Next is Kokomo Cafe, and that one is supposed to be Incense. Then next is the color Petal Peach, and this one corresponds to the color Love. I think Love is a little bit more pink toned than this one. This one's definitely a peachier kind of color. Next is the color Blackberry, and that one corresponds to the color Volatile. Next is the color Oktoberfest, and that one corresponds to the color Eccentric. And finally, the last color here is called Maroon Berry, and that one corresponds to the color Passion. I think that this is actually pretty close to the colors. Some of them are not exactly right, just like I mentioned, but I think this is a pretty good kind of dupe so far, and there could be more colors that already exist from Coastal Scents that are even better dupes, but I just don't own those at the moment. Like I always say, I'm a huge fan of the Coastal Scents Hot Pots, especially when they're on sale, because they are really good eyeshadows. There are a few hit or misses, but all the ones that I picked today are some that really perform well and are super pigmented. And the last time I tried this, whenever I was doing my Venus palette, I had just noticed my eyeshadow stayed really well like the entire night, and I really noticed it. At the end of the night, the bright pinks and colors, especially since it's very similar to this color, they were very similar and they lasted so much longer. So the staying power with these colors are really good as well, and I found that they didn't crease any more than just an average eyeshadow on me. I have like the worst eyelids for eyeshadow. They like crease, they look bad. Usually my makeup looks like really busted at the end of the night, but the last time I did this, I noticed my eyeshadow still looked pretty good. So for the cost breakdown, the ABH palette, I believe, will cost about $42 since that is what their other palettes cost, and they are in very similar layouts and number of colors and size of eyeshadows, so I foresee this palette to be $42. You do get 14 shadows. I believe 7 of them are shimmer and 7 of them are matte. I really love when a palette has either, you know, 50-50 shimmer to matte or mostly mattes, because an all shimmer palette for me is just kind of like a no-go, so I really like the balance of these colors, and I feel like you get a lot of different options. So usually whenever I do these kind of videos and I talk about the price breakdown and stuff, usually the Coastal Scents palettes tend to be a lot less expensive. So in this case, it really does not come out to be that much less expensive if you are buying these Coastal Scent shadows at regular price. I always recommend to just like wait until they have one of their hot pot sales where they go on sale for 99 cents a piece. Otherwise, if you really have your eye on this palette, you're not going to be saving really any money if you were to get the Coastal Scent dupes rather than the actual Norvina palette. For the ABH palette to cost is about $42. The regular Coastal Scents price for these 14 shadows would be $41.30, so you're really only saving 70 cents difference if you do buy these at full price. So the huge saving is going to be if you get these on sale, because the sale price for these 14 shadows at 99 cents a piece would come out to being $13.86. So $13.86 versus $42 I think is a huge saving. So a little bit more about the price breakdown. For the ABH shadows, it comes down to $3 a shadow. For the Coastal Scents, the regular price is $2.95 a shadow, and their sale price is 99 cents a shadow. And for the price per gram for the ABH shadows, you are getting 0.74 grams of shadow, so you're not even getting a full gram. So the price per gram for the ABH shadows is $4.05 per gram. The Coastal Scents shadows are 1.5 grams, so you're getting about twice as much eyeshadow in the Coastal Scents one than you are in the ABH one. For Coastal Scents is $1.96, and for the sale price of the Coastal Scents, the price per gram is 66 cents. So if you think about it that way, if you do buy these shadows from Coastal Scents on sale, then you are getting twice as much eyeshadow for like 1/4 of the price. So first I'm going to start out with this color here. This one is from Coastal Scent. This one is called Petal Peach, and this one is corresponding to the color Love from the Norvina palette. So I'm just going to take that and put that in the crease and blend it out. To be fair, I do think the color Love is slightly more pinky toned than this one. I think Love is a little bit more like slightly cooler as well. This one is called Oktoberfest, and this one corresponds to the color Eccentric. So I'm going to focus this a little bit more kind of on the lower outer corner and blend that a little bit inwards. And then taking the darkest color, this one is called Maroon Berry from Coastal Scent, and it corresponds to the ABH color Passion. And again, just kind of keeping that on the outer half and just blending a little bit inward. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of that color and run it on the lower lash line. This one is called Silver Lilac from Coastal Scents, and this one corresponds to the color Celestial. And I'm going to press that into the lid. And I'm also going to bring that on the lower lash line and blend that to that darker color. Now I'm going to take a little bit of this pink color. This one is called Lovelight from Coastal Scents, and the ABH color is Wild Child. And I'm going to take just a little bit of that to kind of pinken up the outer half of my lid. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the lightest color. This one is Peach Fuzz from Coastal Scents, and that one corresponds to the color Dreamer. And I'm just going to focus that kind of on the inner corner just to bring a little bit more light to the eye. And that's it for the eyeshadow for this look. I'm going to finish my eyeliner and mascara and come back and show you the final look. So here is the final eyeshadow look for my Norvina palette recreation. It did turn out kind of similar to my Venus palette recreation, but I overall just really like these kind of colors. So that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope you guys found this helpful. I really enjoy doing these type of videos, especially since I have such a huge makeup collection. I'm like trying to keep myself from buying, you know, more palettes and stuff, which sometimes I kind of fail, but you know, I try to bring it back in when I can. So doing this kind of project is a really fun one for me. So I hope you guys find these videos helpful, because I really enjoy making them, and it kind of reminds me what I already own. And you know, 99% of the time I feel like whenever I see new palettes, it's all eyeshadow colors that I already own, just in different forms or in different palettes. So I really like that this is a way that I can really kind of create all of these palettes in like a non-permanent way, and I don't have to like take apart other eyeshadow palettes. I'm sure if I went through like every eyeshadow palette I had, I could find like exact dupes of these, but this is just a really great way. It's a non-commitment kind of way to build a palette, and then whenever a new palette comes out and I'm like, oh, I want to create that one, I can just swap out all these colors and create a whole new palette. So it's really fun. I really like this, and I hope that this video is helpful for you guys. Let me know if there are any other palettes that you are really interested in me doing dupes of. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, link is below. Until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.